What's good, YouTube? This your man Spill Dog. Man, you know what, man? That fight this weekend with Mike, I really couldn't watch it. I watched some of it after it was over. But I just felt like, man, that was a bad look for boxing, man. Mike was too old to be in the ring with that young dude, and I just don't understand. You know, it's real fights like Shakur and Tank and Benavidez and Canelo. I mean, it's real fights that they should be making out here instead of wasting time with these Jake Paul, basically shows. I'm really concerned that boxing is about to turn into professional wrestling or something, man. I mean, it's getting too gimmicky. The promoters, that's their job to make it seem like Mike had a chance in that fight, but Mike is almost 60 years old. How is he going to beat a guy 27 years old? No, he might not be a real boxer like that, but he boxed enough to know and tall enough and big enough to keep Mike off of him at his age. And Mike came in the ring with a knee brace on. I mean, that said it all to me right there. It was an accomplishment just for him to be standing up at the end of that bell, at the end of the round, at the end of the fight, man. And I have to give a little respect to Jake Paul for not going out there knocking Mike out, because who knows, he might not have made it out of there if that happened, honestly, because there's a lot of people that's salty with Jake Paul behind him beating Mike like that, but you can't get mad at Jake Paul. He threw off out there, and Mike took it. The problem is my people, man. They'll risk their life for $1. If that dollar big enough, they will go out there and risk their life and limb for this money, man. And I would have thought with as much stuff Mike got going on, he don't need that money. Not that bad. But I mean, I don't know what made Mike do that. Honestly, I just don't see him needing money. But I don't know his personal business. I'm just glad Mike didn't get hurt. What if somebody would have died in there? What if Mike died in that ring at his age? And what if he'd have tried to go hard and really tried and stroked out or something? You know how much of a nightmare that would have turned into, and Jake Paul would have never made it out that arena. They got to think about stuff like that. And I'm thinking Jake Paul might realize today that might not have been the smartest idea in the world, that fight he had with Tyson, because he got a lot of enemies now. There's a lot of people mad at him. I'm not one of them, because once again, Mike took the money. He bid for it. What I would like to find, what I want to know is how many of these brothers gonna let him pay them to beat them up. He go pick people that he know he can beat and pay you, and you go in there and he make a fool out of you in front of the whole world. How many times these brothers gonna fall for this? Like I say, man, all money ain't good money. It really ain't. Sometimes you got to have some integrity, man. And people get into this, I don't know if it's the crowd they be around or want to be around that make them feel like this money is everything. Don't get me wrong. Everybody like money, but, it's some things money can't buy. It's some things money can't buy. I got cancer that there's no cure for us. It's things that money can't solve. And maybe because I'm dealing with something like that I understand that better. But I sit back and look at people, and I be thinking, and I be wanting to tell them so bad. But what happened when you get in a situation that the money can't fix? A lot of people wouldn't be able to handle it, because they have paid their way through life. Honestly, some people gotta count on God. Everybody, sometimes you gotta count on God. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't gonna be there. You can't. It's some things you just can't buy your way out of. And then what you gonna do? What you gonna do then? You know what I mean? And I just felt like, man, that was unnecessary. The fight Mike had. I didn't think he needed to take that fight. But $20 million is a lot of money. And who knows what type of responsibilities Mike got on the outside of the ring. So I'm not going to sit there and pretend that I know nobody's financial situation. But I do know this: I'd rather have my health and strength than a whole bunch of money, and I can't spend it. I mean, I can't enjoy spending it. What if Jake Paul? And I will say this about Jake Paul: he do have some integrity, because he didn't knock Mike Tyson out, and he could have. And if I ever see him, I would shake his hand and say, thanks, dog, for not doing that to Mike like that. You know, it's bad enough y'all went in there fighting, but it would have. I don't even know if he would have made it out of there if something like that would have happened. It's a lot of guys hella salty about this, really. I mean, it's some dudes hella salty about this, and like I said, man, you know, I'm thinking Jake Paul might realize now that might not have been the smartest thing to do, make that fight with an old man, but it's over now. You know, the money in the bank, so it's a done deal. And I blame the boxing. I blame the boxing community more than anything else for allowing stuff like this to happen. You know, sometimes you gotta save a man from himself. Honestly, you know, sometimes we our own worst enemy, and I think this is one of them a case where somebody need to save Mike from himself, because he's too old to be in there doing that with a guy that young. And what if Jake Paul was just a straight up asshole, and he went out there and tried to hurt Mike, which he did not do. In my mind, I don't think he tried to hurt Mike. Now, yeah, they boxing. There's going to be some punches thrown and landed, but he could have knocked Mike out if he wanted to. From what I saw, I didn't watch the whole fight, but from what I saw, he could have got Mike up out of there if he wanted to. And I got a lot of respect for him for doing that. You know, for not making this shit no worse than it already is. You know, really. I mean, because to me, it was a bad look all the way around. I can't see how this helped boxing. And not one iota. If anything, it hurt boxing. You know, it's real fights that need to be being made out here, and here we are wasting time with stupid stuff like this. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Come on, man. I mean, I just think the sport don't need that. You know, and if you're not gonna make these real fights, then leave this bullshit alone. You know what I mean? And I mean that. You know, because like I say, man, I didn't like it from the time they announced it. When they canceled the fight the first time, that's when I said, I'm out on this, man. Mike too old for this. But they kept it up, and he went on through it. You know, and I think Mike wanted it just as bad as Jake Paul. $20 million. There ain't a whole lot of stuff you're gonna be able to do and make $20 million in one night outside of hit the lottery, or a stock whiz or something like that. You know, but I just don't. You know, that kind of money don't just fall out the sky. So I get it to some degree. I get it, but you only get one life. You dig? And if you go out there and something real bad happen, and you don't, you know, would it have still been worth it? That's my feeling on it. You know, and I'm just glad it's all over. I'm glad Mike didn't get hurt real bad. You know, and he back home with his family, and you know, 20 million stronger than he was the day before. So that part I'm happy about. I didn't speak negatively about the fight because I didn't want to speak bad on Mike Money, honestly. But now that the fight is over, my feelings was it should have never happened. My neighbor, he watched the fight. I just really didn't. You know, Mike looked good on the scales for his age, but I just did not really want to see that fight. If I'm being honest, I just didn't want to see that fight. I didn't watch it that night. I watched some parts of it, you know, yesterday, and it just really hurt more than anything else to see Mike out there like that. Real talk, you know, a guy that was once one of our heroes in the ring, man. To see him go out like that, you know, it's a real bad look. And I will say this: these dudes like to talk about Floyd Mayweather, but everybody follow Floyd Mayweather in boxing. Floyd was the one that started all this, the exhibitions and these gimmick fights and getting them millions like this. So, if anything, somebody to give Floyd a little credit, because he's the one that opened this door up for Mike to make this $20 million. Let's keep it a buck on that. And like I say, man, Floyd might be messed up in a lot of things, but to me, he is the master of marketing in boxing. You know, and getting, you know, making stuff happen in the sport of boxing. Floyd knows what it takes to make money in this sport right here. I gotta give him his credit for that. He has maximized the money off the Mayweather name. That's for sure. You know, and that's it for me on this video. If you like the video, hit the like and subscribe. Till the next time, it's your boy Spill Dog. I'm out.